It's been a busy couple weeks. There's been a lot of rumors and news going on, and we've been trying to get videos out as quickly as possible, but we've been pretty busy, so we've been slipping, I think, just a little bit. I mean, we got Cedar Point's brand new Siren's Curse video out immediately, but that video was literally done by just me.
Yeah.
And it was like whenever I watched it like one time and just kind of like glanced over it. So we didn't really talk a whole lot about that. There's all sorts of rumors going on about other parks. There's some news going on with Top Thrill 2. There's all sorts of stuff. So we're going to condense that all into one video and give you all sorts of news and rumors type video. We're going to go over three main things in this video. Top Thrill 2 has some tarp around the track. That's raising some like concern or questions or whatever. Kingda Ka has all sorts of rumors going on about it. We're going to talk about what we feel about that. And of course, we're going to give some more in-depth stuff about Siren's Curse coming to Cedar Point in 2025. And you're going to give your first thoughts about it.
Yeah.
So where do you want to begin? You want to start with maybe Top Thrill 2?
Sure.
Okay, that is probably what we have the least amount to talk about because all there is some tarp covering the track that leads to the bottom of the spike.
Yeah, it's just right under the station or the part that extends out of the station.
And not too long ago, people took a picture of a little step ladder and a tripod on the track. It looked like maybe something they were testing, like the levels of it or something. A while back, I think like a few weeks ago or whatever, or like towards the end of the season, we spotted them taking like lights and looking for stress cracks around that part of the track. So there's obviously some concern going on with Top Thrill 2 and maybe some cracks. So could we be seeing some new track coming in there?
I don't know. I have no idea. Nobody knows. Cedar Point, who knows if they even know it? No, but I have no idea even what to think at this point. They said that it'll be open by next year. Hopefully it'll be opening day next year. But we'll see.
Yeah, because they specifically said that the ride they fully expect the ride to be open for the 2025 year. We were saying not too long ago, I think we were doing like a live stream or something from Cedar Point whenever they announced that it was going to be closed for the rest of the 2024 season. And we were saying that anything's up in the air now. We weren't sure, like we were no longer confident that they would ever get this thing back up and running again. Now, that is obviously highly unlikely. That would take a lot. But I was just like, I also didn't think that it was going to be down for the rest of 2024 either. Now, they are saying that they do expect it to be open for 2025, but they also said that this is not going to be an all-summer thing earlier in the summer.
But, I mean, that was pretty soon after it closed, and I guess they just didn't know. Obviously, they didn't know as much about it. I think it'll for sure be open next year. And like I said, hopefully opening day or sometime earlier in the year. But I'm confident that it'll be open and hopefully stay open.
So the tarp, that's just to like block all us nosy people from checking out what's going on or something.
No idea what that tarp means.
Yeah, probably just to keep people from...
If you're an expert on tarps, let us know.
Yeah, drop a comment down below, all your tarp information. Yeah. But yeah, there wasn't much to talk about that. Like like we said, there's just like a couple things going on and we haven't really discussed it. So we gave our couple little thoughts, not much. I mean, there's not much that we can really think about that. We're just frustrated like all of you and frustrated like I'm sure Zamperla and Cedar Point.
Yeah, they want to make money off of people coming and riding it and they want it to be open. They both, Cedar Point and Zamperla, really want it to be open, so yeah.
Zamperla might be the most frustrated out of any of us because who knows, this could really damage the reputation of getting any new contracts for any big thrill coasters in the future. So their future is kind of up in the air as far as like what they were trying to do with their new roller coaster division of the company. But anyway, moving on from Top Thrill 2, let's go to the other strata coaster in the United States, and that is Kingda Ka. So I would say maybe about a couple months ago, started seeing some people on Twitter like saying some things about like, oh, Kingda Ka closing. Oh, better go ride it before it closes. And it seemed like kind of like a joke or whatever. But now more and more people are catching on. So in case you don't know, in case you've been living under a rock, Kingda Ka, the tallest roller coaster in the world at the moment, is rumored to be shutting down after the 2025 season. Now, there are a couple people on Twitter, I think Coaster Spot, I think that was the one that said that they heard from a couple reliable sources. Now, we never know what these reliable sources
Everybody has sources. I don't know what any of these sources are, but everybody has some sort of source, apparently.
Yeah, and some are legit, some are not, so you just kind of gotta take everything with a grain of salt. But this person has said that they are closing Kingda Ka after 2025, and they're saying that it's due to high yearly maintenance costs, which they're saying is around like $1 million or so, which makes sense because that's around what Top Thrill Dragster was, and that was one of the main reasons why we said that they would probably try to like change things, like change it to like an LSM launch and try to make it more reliable and bring down that yearly maintenance cost, because $1 million a year to maintain one roller coaster,
that's a lot.
Like a lot of other roller coasters, maybe a couple $100,000 or so. Like, you have to bring in a lot of money, and a lot of people have to be coming to your park just for that one ride in order to make up $1 million a year. So it looks like Richard Zimmerman, now in charge of the new Six Flags Corporation, looks like maybe he's saying, no, we went through this with Top Thrill Dragster, cost us too much money. And Great Adventure isn't a huge money-making park. It's a big park. They draw some crowds, but they're not the resort park that Cedar Point is, and they don't get the attendance, even though they're open a lot longer in the season than Cedar Point. So you can see why Cedar Point kept going with the maintenance cost for Top Thrill Dragster for so long. But now the new CEO, Richard Zimmerman, is saying, you know what? We're going to cut that. We're going to save that $1 million per year. So that is one option, that they might tear it down. That's the rumor. Personally, I can, not to cop out, but I could see it going either way. Both sides make sense to me.
I think it'll either stay open or close. That's my expert opinion.
Those are his two things that he's saying.
But yeah, it is very up in the air. Like, there isn't really one. I'm not like, oh my god, it's definitely closing, or oh my god, it's definitely going to stay open. I don't know. It's tough.
I think I'm leaning towards the closing. Now, I might be falling victim to seeing a bunch of people giving the same rumor, so it makes me feel like the rumor is more valid because more and more people are saying it. I could be falling victim to that, but it just does make sense. The ride is down so much. These hydraulic launch systems from Intamin were just totally unreliable and very expensive to maintain. So now that Six Flags is now run by Richard Zimmerman, who is very money-oriented. It's all about the bottom line for him. So I could really see him saying, hey, let's slash some of that maintenance cost for Great Adventure and just get rid of Kingda Ka. Now, I definitely think that they would focus on putting something really epic in its place.
You would have to if you're replacing the current tallest roller coaster in the world and the second fastest. Yeah, you would have to do something really, really big in that plot of land. Personally, I think I'm leaning slightly towards it staying open, but like I said, it's just very tough to guess, because it's like, before I was like, yeah, it's definitely going to stay open, but now it's like, it's a little bit, I don't know. Like you said, there's just so many people saying that they see sources and they see all this stuff saying that it'll close. So
yeah, it's easy to fall victim to that. So if we're being tricked, or if I'm being tricked, then so be it. But I'm leaning towards Kingda Ka closing. So if you have not ridden Kingda Ka, what are you waiting for? Either this year or into next year. Seems like it may possibly be your last chance to get out to Six Flags Great Adventure and ride it.
That would be insane if Kingda Ka closes. That'd be something.
That's going to be huge news across the amusement park world. And rest assured, next year, whenever that happens, we will be doing a video all about it.
If that happens.
If that happens. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so you keep up to date with all your Kingda Ka news.
Exactly.
And last but not least, the first two things were kind of rumors and just kind of speculation. But this last thing, there is no rumor, or well, actually there is a little bit of rumor or speculation about it. But what is for sure is that Cedar Point, new for 2025, is getting a Vekoma tilt coaster that's going to be called Siren's Curse. It's going into a plot of land kind of off outside of the park right now. It's where the old employee dorms used to be. So they've, like, just not too long ago, we were actually out standing in that plot of land arguing, could they fit a roller coaster? Because I was saying...
You were talking about a Mack Extreme Spinner specifically.
Yes.
And I was saying no. Well, yeah, that's what everyone wants. Yeah. But, and I was like, no, you wouldn't be able to fit that. But they are going to fit a coaster. It is not a Mack Extreme Spinner.
Nope.
But it is, like you said, a Vekoma tilt coaster.
Now, this is a very interesting thing because we know for sure that Cedar Point is getting this. But what we don't know for sure is how they ended up getting it. Now, it seems very, very likely because of how late the announcement was. There were, like, this community, so many people pick up on things early.
Oh, yeah.
Detective work, find, like, some
Any
permits.
Sort of leak or
permits or something with, like, a city. People find what's going on, and there was absolutely nothing. This came out of left field. Took literally everybody by surprise with this. So that leads us to believe that this was a last-minute addition.
Plus, they only had one teaser for it, one video, and Cedar Point usually likes to tease their stuff quite a bit. And the announcement was later than what they usually do. And it probably won't open on opening day of Cedar Point, which is not something that Cedar Fair does.
Yeah, Cedar Fair likes getting their roller coasters open when the park's open. So this is said to be open early summer. So Cedar Point usually opens the first or second weekend in May. Early summer, you're looking at what, like maybe like into June or something like that. So maybe about a month and a half after the park opens. Who knows? That'll remain to be seen when it actually opens. The video that I did about it, I was like just looking at it for the first time, but really looking at this thing, and we're going to get into like all the rumors of why, like where this coaster came from in a little bit. But let's first get into this layout because this thing, like a lot of people are comparing it to Valraven just because they have the same gimmicks. They both hold you at the top, drop you, it's similar to that. But that's where the similarities end because Valraven's course looks and is good. This thing looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks like a modern Vekoma layout because it is, which is really nice to see because Vekoma is making some great coasters like Abyssus and Lek Coaster, and they have so many really good coasters, and we're finally getting a nice, good layout in the U.S. from Vekoma.
And we've got, Great Adventure. We were just talking about Great Adventure earlier. Great Adventure is getting a modern Vekoma, but it's a super boomerang.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different. It's not, like I said, like Lek Coaster. It's not something like their best.
Yeah, it's not like some crazy layout. It's kind of just is what it is. But if you go over this layout, like after the drop...
Going to the drop, you're going to this large airtime hill, bank right, which it looks like you'll probably get some really good airtime on that. You'll go into a very fast inversion.
And that inversion looks like a Heartline roll, what Maverick was supposed to have, and what Intamin does on Velocicoaster down at Islands of Adventure.
With the Mosasaurus
roll. The Mosasaurus roll. So that thing just looks absolutely amazing. Like, there's supposed to be 13 airtime moments.
And they're going to have this, triple down.
Yeah, the triple down looks like it might be like one of the best elements in the park altogether.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And one thing that is interesting, and it does have I don't know if, so is the actual ride going to have this? It has a tunnel that goes underground, and Cedar Point doesn't have any coasters that go underground or any thing like...
We just lost one of our lights, so...
But what I was saying is Cedar Point doesn't have any coaster that has a tunnel because I thought they couldn't do any coaster that went underground or something like that, is what I heard.
Well, dive coasters, a lot of dive coasters have a gimmick where you drop and go underground. And when Valraven didn't have that, it really seemed like, okay, they can't do that.
Yeah.
Cedar Point floods a lot.
Yeah.
And there are lots of different parts that just like as soon as it rains, any like heavy amount, you just get flooding.
Yeah, and plus it's a peninsula, so you have water right there. So, but I don't know if it's actually going to have this or...
I mean, it shows it.
It shows it, but coasters show a lot of things in the animations that aren't true. But I don't know. I guess it'll happen, which will be really cool. But after that, you're going to go into that giant twisted airtime hill, which looks really...
Is that what that is? A twisted airtime hill?
Yeah.
Like, it looks like what they call a non-inverting...
Loop? No, that's a twisted airtime hill.
Okay. Come down, bank to the right,
another,
and then...
another airtime hill. Your second inversion, this ride is going to have 2 inversions.
It's going to... And both inversions are basically the same thing. And if you've ever been on anything with like a Heartline roll or the Mosasaurus roll like we were talking about on Velocicoaster at Islands of Adventure, that thing just like whips you. Like you are out of control. It's like sideways airtime or something like that. You're just like kind of like being thrown out of your seat.
I don't think this is going to be nearly as good as the Mosasaurus roll because that's like the best inversion that I've ever ridden, I think. So I don't think it's going to be quite that good, but it'll still probably, both inversions will still probably be really good.
And those are the only 2 inversions on this coaster. Like we said earlier, 13 airtime moments. The stats are it's supposed to be 160 feet tall and go about 58 miles per hour, something like that. If we're wrong, don't shoot us or anything. Don't.
I don't remember the stats right now.
It's something in the 50s like that. The triple down looks amazing. Mm-hmm. Might be one of the better elements in the park. Maybe
I don't know. Maybe it looks really good and just it looks like it'll just have very very strong airtime, and it just like I said, it's so cool that Vekoma is bringing their really good new coasters to different places around the world now.
And the train has an LED package on it.
Yeah.
It's going to have on-ride audio, which will probably play into the theming of this ride. We're not going to go totally into the theming and the whole story. I did that during the video, so you can go and check out that video from the day of this announcement. But basically, a Siren is... a
mythical monster that poses as a mermaid and lures people in, and it turns out to be a monster and it eats you. Or
they're like, haha,
that.
Tricked you. Now I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. So that's gonna be the theme of this ride, and I hope that there'll be some decent theming. I mean, obviously, it's not gonna be insane like Voltron or anything like that, but hopefully there'll be some decent theming with that.
Maybe this ride is going to trick you and think it's a Vekoma tilt coaster, but when you actually get on it, it's just a Vekoma family boomerang.
Yeah, that would be great theming.
So the theme, the Sirens trick you, so maybe this coaster is going to trick you. And now to the rumor part about this, what it really seems like, how we talked about this was probably a last minute addition. So it really looks like that this is the roller coaster that was supposed to be in Poland's Energylandia back in 2021.
In 2021, Energylandia announced that they were getting a brand new Vekoma tilt coaster, and it was big news. Everyone was really excited for it. Second ever tilt coaster in the world, and but that project got canceled, and nobody fully knows why. People think it's probably because of the funding from the European Union. And because Energylandia is funded by the government, so people just kind of assume that it was something with funding. So that project got scrapped, but Vekoma already manufactured the track and all that. So then nobody knew exactly where it would go or where it would end up. And then just a couple months ago, right? It
wasn't that long ago.
People at Six Flags Mexico found red Vekoma track out just right outside the park. So then everyone started saying, okay, Six Flags Mexico, which is a park that hasn't gotten a ground-up coaster in quite some time, is going to get Energylandia's Vekoma Till coaster, and that seemed like it would make sense. It would be a good fit for the park, give the park a big 3 with Medusa and all that.
But they even announced that they were getting a new coaster, but then there was some issues with permits, with some trees that needed to be torn down that the government didn't want them tearing down.
Yeah, and the Mexico City environmental laws didn't want them to tear down any trees for it, and they couldn't make that work. So that got canceled, sort of. So then it's like, okay, now what? And now Cedar Point just announced a Vekoma Till coaster that is also has red track, the exact same color as, what was that, Six Flags Mexico.
And the one thing is that I've found 2 different pictures of what the Energylandia tilt coaster was supposed to look like. One looks absolutely nothing like Siren's Curse, but that one may have been an earlier one. But there was also one that looked identical. It looked like it's the exact same roller coaster.
It is the exact same, yeah.
And that one was pictured and supposed to be going to Energylandia.
Yeah, so every single thing about this makes sense that Cedar Point is getting Energylandia's Till coaster, but there is one thing that is really weird that I haven't seen that many people even talk about.
No, the fact that Energylandia, when they put out their announcement for the tilt coaster, they gave the stats, and the stats are off on what Cedar Point's tilt coaster and what Energylandia's tilt coaster was supposed to be. There's about a 13-foot difference in the height. So the one thing but everything else points to it. So
everything is so perfect. So it's like, yeah, it has to be, but where did that extra 13 feet come from?
Yeah, so the only thing that I kind of thought may be possible is the stats were put out just a little bit ago. I said that there were 2 different renderings of two different tilt coasters. So I'm wondering if maybe initially they put out the stats quite a while ago, and the stats were for the original one, and then they kind of tweaked it, plans changed, and they ended up doing the other one that I said that we found a rendering for. So maybe those 2 coasters have different stats, and maybe the stats that Energylandia announced were the stats for the original, and maybe plans changed somewhere along the way. So that's the only thing that I could think of that could possibly explain that.
Yeah.
Or they're just measuring different. Like in Poland, they have different ways of measuring roller coasters or something like that.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know.
But, yeah, I'm going to have to find out. I do want to know, because this whole Energylandia tilt coaster thing has been going on for a while, and it's been a big mystery on what's going on with it. And so many parks, people have predicted, like, oh, this park could get their tilt coaster, this park could. So definitely, we really want some sort of resolution on this whole thing, and I don't know, just find out if this is Energylandia's tilt coaster.
Yeah, but will we ever actually find out?
Yes, we will.
Yeah, we will. We're going to be confident and positive that we will find out someday. But anyway, I guess we will wrap up this video. Sorry for this light going out. I thought I charged it up a little bit better.
It doesn't want to work.
No, the light doesn't want to work.
But that's all the latest news in the coaster industry for the past week or so.
So we figured we would wrap it up in one video instead of spreading out over a few videos. So just give you guys one thing to watch. If you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Those 2 things help us out a ton against the YouTube algorithm. Pushes this video and in this channel out to as many people as possible. And if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the video and want to see other roller coaster content,
talk about roller coaster,
just like this.
Yeah, all over the world. We talk about everything. So subscribe if you like that kind of stuff.
Also, huge shout out to our channel members. These people on the screen right here support the channel oh so much, and in return they get things like shout outs, exclusive pictures, videos, stuff like that. So thank you to all our channel members. You guys are amazing. But that is it for this video. News, rumors for the amusement park industry. If you want to see us if you want us to turn this into maybe a series or something.
Yeah.
Just kind of wrap things up in one nice little package. Let us know down in the comments. Maybe we'll turn this into a series or something. And maybe our light will actually work through the entire light next time. Or the entire video next time. But that is it. Signing off from right here at Beach Cliff Studios. See ya.